Hey Cosimo, nice to see you, man.
Nice to see you too, Magnus.
It's been about a year since we recorded this thing.
Yeah, I was actually, I think maybe, yeah, it was like mid-October when we did it, so it's coming up to a year. Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
Yeah, really, it takes some time to get stuff out there, but I'm so happy with the result. Like just the audio we were able to get, doing it all on our own, and
Yeah, I mean, big credit to you because you set up the recording and to the mixing engineer. I forget his name all the time. I'm sorry.
yeah, Jens Fossum.
Yeah, amazing. Uh, and Nicolo, who did the master, I think overall it was kind of, we were all so surprised how well it came out. People are asking me, how much did you spend on the studio session? I was like, nothing.
Right? And now you're coming to Norway again in January, so maybe we'll get to record
Yeah,
another album.
I was thinking about that. I think I'm already working on some music. So I think we might have
Nice.
something to say again.
We say
Yeah,
two.
exactly.
I was so funny when you reached out to me. I we didn't hang out a lot at Berkeley. Like we played a couple of times, but
We did. I think you know what we did a lot to get maybe more often big bands, like big bands with titles and
yeah.
stuff. We did some together for different, jazz composition students that would put big bands together. I think we had some of that stuff together. But I remember, always thinking about you as the one of the best tenor players in there. And
Yeah,
then, of course, when after Berkeley we lost touch, like many of us, unfortunately. But when they told me I was gonna be in Norway, it was just I didn't think of you at first because for some reason, and I'm so embarrassed in saying that, but I've seen you play a lot in Denmark too. Am I wrong about that?
yeah,
And
yeah. No,
the
that's true.
first couple of months I was thinking about people in Norway. I thought you lived in Copenhagen. So and then I realized, no, man, he's Norwegian. He's from Oslo. So and sorry about that, but I'm glad I realized in time just to set up this stuff and Håkon and Almond, they are great musicians. So
I was so stoked that you reached out and that we got this. It was like we barely made it. You were going back to Italy just a few days after we recorded, right?
yeah, because you was busy and also the guys. We basically we had just I think 2 days available before I would go back, and we just picked one, and the stuff happened. So it's kind of the confirmation of the magic of jazz, of music,
Yeah.
but jazz especially. Like you just get together, and if the chemistry is right, you just don't need a lot of rehearsal or I think that's what I like also about the recording, that you can feel that exploring vibe, but it's a sincere exploring vibe. It's not like manufactured, like because we were actually exploring each other, like sounds in the moment, because we never played in that setting before. I think, of course, I played with you at Berkeley, but it was 10 years before, so it's almost like musically we were two different persons. And I played with the Håkon, maybe in a jam, a Herr Nielsen and Hamud as well. So probably like overall, like we had less than half an hour of music together in different settings, let alone in the quartet.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, definitely.
you can either really feel it in pieces like Alone Together that we recorded, which is a standard, but it came out so different from any other version that I ever did before, because it was new. It was literally new for us.
Yeah. Yeah, you can just feel that spontaneity in everything we do, and you can hear people are reacting and trying to just go with the flow. When someone plays something, it's out there, and we gotta
Ex-
stick with it. And everybody was just so good at going with the flow all the
yeah,
time.
and I also like, because I don't know if you agree with me, but sometimes you just get together with new people, and there is some social baggage that you bring with you, some career baggage, some like that could be coming from social media presence, from career presence, that you feel judged why you bring a tune to the table, why you bring an idea to the table, both in words and playing wise. But as soon as we got into that room, I felt like I can say and play whatever I want because these guys are listening. And I
Yeah. Yeah,
also
totally.
in return, I was listening to you guys, and I wasn't really thinking, oh, this guy's good, this guy's bad, this could be something, this could be no. I was literally in the moment, and then only later when we listened back, I was like, wow, you know. But I had a feeling already because that feeling of being accepted was stuck with me. So I was like, wow, this was a good session. I had fun, and then later I was like, now I can feel it in the recording too, and. I was just in France playing some concert, and this journalist came out to see one of the concert the day after the record had come out on the platforms, which was a Saturday, I guess. And he was like, "Oh, your new record sounds so good, like blah blah blah. Like, how long is the band been together?" I was like, "You won't believe it, but
That was our second time
yeah,
playing together.
the band has been together for like 4 hours."
Yeah.
Whoever brought a tune, whoever brought up an idea, wasn't like, oh, I think it should be this way because I meant it this way on the paper, and then I'm not willing to negotiate with any of you that it's gonna be this way and any other way. I think we were just like, I came up with this, let's see what happened. And I think it's just also like a good mix, like as I said before, it's not just the music, but the people that were in that room. It's just generally uh, good people. Like even when we met at other Gen session in Oslo, we just hang and talk about anything, and you never felt that vibe of the personality overstepping, the egos coming out to prove something, either musically or I don't know any other thing. And I think it's the more I'm doing this music thing, and the more I'm realizing how important is that.
That can really make or break a band.
Yeah, and also it could alterate the way you play, even if you don't realize it, because you are affected by this all the time, in a good and in a bad way. And I think I can say I'm pretty sure of that we all affected positively each other, by being relaxed, being like. Also, I think sometimes when I think this happened to you, you set up a recording session and you're gonna make a record, so you have that pressure on. So you kind of freaking out if the sound is not as good as you want in the moment. And the fact that this was a jam and we recorded it, basically erased all this expectation that could come up with a more, let's say, professional recording setting. And so I think you can
Yeah.
feel that when we play, we don't have any expectation of, oh, this is gonna be my big break. This is gonna be the record that's
Yeah.
gonna be sounding perfect. This is gonna be this and this is gonna be that, and I wanted to mean this. It was just a picture of that day and that moment, and it happened to be, I think, a very good day and moment for us musically. And then the meaning comes after that, because when there is that vibe in the room, then the meaning comes out naturally.
Absolutely.
I think you brought some song that had a really big meaning for you, and we were all kind of grateful that you felt uh, at at peace with the vibe to play that kind of song. I don't know if you want to talk about it, but
Mm.
I
Yeah, oh, no, totally. Let's go. Let's
my
go there.
songs had some meanings that maybe I didn't even explain to you guys, but when I listen back, I'm like, I feel like the meaning came out. Maybe not, like you were saying before, how I expected it, but it's there. And also, I feel like
Yeah.
one of the songs that is an Italian traditional song, but it has a big meaning for what was the Italian history, and we decided to play kind of a crazy version. But when I listen back, I'm like, especially in these times, I'm like, okay, we they they
Yeah.
they they got it. I don't know if you really got it, but I can feel it in the music. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes it happens naturally, and it's beautiful.
Yeah, just when you play it like you mean it, it might mean something different to me than to you, but we all read whatever meaning we want into these kinds of things, and especially in that Italian song we did, I love the contrast in that. Just the burning, super burning accompaniment, and then us just totally relaxed playing that soft melody on
Yeah,
top.
I'm gonna go into it because that song, it's a traditional melody that then they put some lyric on during the resistance during World War II, after the Mussolini regime was overturned and the German SS were occupying Italy, and people, regular people, let's say like this, went into war with the SS, trying to resist, and liberate Italy from the fascist regime. And so they took a traditional melody and put some words that literally means pity has died, meaning it's like, in these times people don't have pity for, they don't feel the misery, they don't feel empathy. And so it's a very kind of sad, but at the same time strength song, because it's like we gotta resist, we gotta keep fighting for our freedom and for justice, and so I feel that contrast that came out, it's kind of there already. It's like you got this
Yeah,
rambling, you got the war underneath, you got the current time where it's like it's hard to keep positive, it's hard to keep that positive state of mind and be like, people are good, most of us are good, and, and you want to fight and you have to fight, but at the same time the melody is reminding you of that, positive side, of that calm side, of that love side, if I can, in love in the big sense of it, and
wow. Yeah, now that song means even more to me.
maybe I wasn't so deep when I explained. I just say, "Oh, let's play that melody," and I think we let the music tell us, you know.
Mm,
And I think that's
absolutely.
what's beautiful, because it's kind of the proof that music itself has some power, that being a traditional melody, like we played the other traditional Norwegian melody that you arranged, and that has a completely different vibe, because the vibe of the song, if you want to explain, but it's completely different, right? But I didn't need so much you telling me all the lyrics, all the story, all the, like, the vibe came through.
But also that one, just exploring that contrast and putting that in the jazz, the avant-garde jazz setting was a lot of fun.
Yeah, of course.
And I don't know about your tunes, but the tunes that I brought in, I never like, so I never even finished those. I never thought about them as finished tunes. They were just in a folder on my Mac, and I was like, maybe I'll bring these out someday. And so I never played any of them with a band
Wow.
before. They were just completely new tunes that I brought in, and then you guys play them so well that I was like, yeah, I guess they were finished. I just didn't know.
That there is this Wayne Shorter used to say this thing, that when you play a tune over and over, it's just like you're not dressing it, you are actually undressing it all the time. Every time you take like a piece of clothes out, and the real, essence of the tune comes out. And I think I'm quoting him right. I don't know, but I like to think I am. But yeah,
Yeah,
I think
that's
it's gonna be nice to see now, if in January when we play again, and hopefully in the future we play again a lot of times, how, which songs we're gonna keep playing, which new materials it's gonna be inspired by this, session that we did that time. Because at the same time, I feel like it came out fresh, in the meaning that I can see a part two, a part three, a part four, a part five, because there is a lot of doors there that can open and take some different path.
And even if we ended up recording all the same songs one more time, it would be a completely
Oh,
different
of course.
record because like every time we played this, we were just going in with a new
Yeah.
mindset. Like the few songs that we did multiple takes of, we messed around with like the solo order or the tempo, or we changed something just so we didn't try to copy what was there before.
And that's I think it's also going back to what we were saying, the vibe at the beginning, the acceptance. Like we were all willing to accept the version, like, oh, let's do a version of this song that is never gonna happen again. And of course, there's gonna be like each one of us. I think when he's listening to each take, is like, oh, here I could have done this better, like technically, wherever choices. But we were all in the mindset of accepting our choices and the consequences in that version. And
Yeah,
I don't think any of us was like, oh, can we go back to that version so I can do this better this time? Like we were just like,
yeah,
no, it's what happened there, it stays there, and it represents a moment there. And next time we're gonna do another version, and I'm probably not gonna make any of the same choices, you know.
right.
And if we want to get a little philosophical, that's life.
Yeah, what's been said has been said, and you have to move on from
Yeah,
that and see how you can make what's already happened work.
yeah, and I think I we all live in a world, especially music wise nowadays, that you have these people producing amazing, perfect, if I can say that, content that lasts like 35 seconds, and you can see so much work in those 35 seconds. Like lighting, sounds. We all do it, and it's good that we do it. It's a different type of work. It's just, I think for me it was so refreshing to like be back in a setting that could be more like almost like a student vibe, where like just go for it and try, and then
Hmm.
it's there. I don't need to go back, edit this part, because then I have to publish it, and it's gonna be like representing this little thing that then I can sell. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely. It really brought me back to the Berklee times where jam sessions were like that all the time. You just show up somewhere and you play some tunes, and the next day you show up some other place and you play the tunes again, but in a
Yeah.
different.
I don't know how you feel, but lately on social media I've seen a lot of things about music academies, if you can call it like this. That's kind of like people is kind of tearing them down. It's like you don't need to go to school, and I'm not saying you need to go to school, but I feel like sometimes people have a very distorted image, especially of Berklee. I can talk about Berklee because that's the school that we went. Because I was exposed both from students and teachers to like the best, like so many different genres, so many different ideas, so many different way of life, because there is people from all over the world. And sometimes you see people saying like, oh, don't go to Berkeley because they tell you what not to play. And I don't think I've ever had any teacher of any other student telling me play this note or play this other note. Maybe I was lucky, but like I was really inspired by Berkeley. Of course, there is, maybe you like a teacher more, you like another teacher less. I'm kind of, sometimes I'm really disappointed of how like music academy is like portrayed in social media.
Yeah, me too. I've been thinking about that a lot lately. With I'm not going to drop any names or anything, but there are some channels out there that really like to just hate on Berkeley, and it doesn't align with like how I had an experience there at all. Like I had the best time of my life. Those 4 years were game changing
Exactly.
for me and for my career. Like I met so many great musicians and got to play with so many great people, and just being in that that atmosphere where everybody was just trying to get better all the time. It's just good to come there and see that there are so many players that are so much better than you, and try to learn from that.
That's the side I think people think it's sometimes it's just that. But then you have, I did I did a duele ensemble. Duele is a I never thought I would be in a duele
Mm.
ensemble. Then I played with this Iranian amazing visiting artist was Bijan Mortazavi, Iranian violin player. I
Mm.
would never think I would play with an, I could have a multitude of example, or just hearing people their recital, people from Korea, people from Kenya, people from and they all bring
Mm.
something to the table that if I didn't go to Berklee, probably it would take me like what I listened and experienced in 4 years. Probably would have taken me like I don't know 25 in regular life. Even if you
Absolutely.
live
Yeah.
in New York, I think, which probably we can all say is the most diverse musical scene in the world. Probably, I don't know. I haven't lived there for 6 years now, but like I think it's of course there is all these challenges. We're not making a Berklee advertisement. Everybody make their own choices. There is problem with the teachers. There is problem with the organizations, money, whatever. We all know. But I think it's like that for every school in the world, not just music. Medicine school, like law schools, like you can find everything. No institution is perfect.
Yeah, and everything has two
Of
sides. It's
course,
just some stuff is good and some stuff is bad.
yeah, and everybody has
But for me, it was definitely
experience
the right choice.
in experiencing that same environment for two different people in two different completely environment. What I
Yeah.
think is just I think that sometimes people have this image of Berklee very old school, like they tell you what to do, they give you a book, learn the book by memory. But I didn't find any of that. Actually, after Berklee, I realized maybe I needed some more of that because there was some technical stuff and some theory stuff that even after 4 years I was very confused about it. But I was
Yeah.
way more inspired by experimenting, trying, using music as a mean of life and all the other stuff that we can talk about for hours. I was lucky. I got
Mm.
to study with, Danilo Peretz, Dave Santoro, Al Crook, Darren Barrett, Jason Palmer, and the list goes on and on and on. John Patitucci, Joe Lovano. But all these people never said, play that, play that. They just trying to inspire you, like you said, to get better. And like Darren used to say, try to find the truth, which is not,
Yes.
it's a
Yes.
big meaning, but we're all inspiring to that truth.
Absolutely. Well, a big thanks to you, Cosimo, for taking the time to chat. And if people want to hear our album, it's called We Say, and it's out everywhere now.
Yeah.